mistaken, just 2 or 3 weeks ago, they participated in an open weekly. But ladies and gentlemen, we're heading right into the game. No more semantics. Let's see what's actually going on in the server.
Well, yeah, if that first game was anything to go by, semantics don't mean anything when all these players can presumably click heads. We tried maybe analyzing a bit too much for that one. Obviously, one thing I want to mention real quick is that this is a spectator bug. There are no 10 Phantoms on the server at the moment. Who knows if that's going to be the same story when it comes to like round 3 or 4, but for right now, no, these are only pistols that we see, and very, very early fake coming in from the attackers, it seems like at the moment. Pre-aiming this corner, somehow Melio is going to lose that fight, despite C Polonium being completely blind. There's that fake over that I was talking about, and the A exec will quickly begin as a result. Now, VGA from here are going to be in a pretty tricky position. How are they going to go ahead and realistically deal with getting this spike planted? They have a number to go off of here, but that will be quickly evened up. Rossi now will do his best to try to even things up and make it actually into his team's favor, but no, Way Too French will extend it further in a 3 versus 4. That's looking incredibly good for Way Too French. It's a perfect recipe to find the first round, on your board. Mile will go ahead and bring us even closer to it with a double kill, and C Polonium now is going to be all left to his lonesome. He's found the first and second kill, a triple in the round, but from here, good luck actually getting anything done. Way Too French have this on lock, or do they? C Polonium maybe got a bit too much out of that one. Way Too French eventually will win it in the end, but a very promising start from C Polonium and crew.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they were able to restrict Way Too French down to Yuz, so... Alright, so it's baby steps for now, and again, I really don't know what to think. Again, I'm pleasantly surprised with the performance of C Polonium in that round, but now they don't exactly have much to work with. They're gonna hold back on force buying here. They're gonna go for really what would be a double eco opportunity going forward. I mean, even their economy going into the next round is gonna be a little bit shambolic, but let's see what they can actually pull off. Is again, Way Too French, most of their players heading up towards that long area, and you actually have a triple hold over to Hookah for this VGA squad.
I mean, with pistols, it makes sense. A lot of the time when you see pistol defense stacks, they do hold over towards Hookah, but Way Too French, they are way too smart. They realize that's something that they don't want to mess with. They'll eventually take over Hookah on their own terms, and Melio will be completely happy to take that free kill onto the Raze. An early and clean round coming through from Way Too French. Basically, the only responses from Toasty the Toaster who manages to pick off Melio, but all in all, that's a 2-0 start. We haven't really seen any crazy antics with the pistols. I just realized.
I mentioned this earlier. Yeah, not totally insane, but wow, look at this coordination in terms of a buy from VGA. They aren't fully investing on the third round. They want to really just extend whatever cash they could actually get out of this. They buy almost full Spectres, and the Marshal, they are on the defensive side, and realistically, they haven't taken away too many of the Way Too French side to really, be scared of full rifles. So this could be pretty smart. Melio, however, he knows exactly where Toasty would be. Great check on that ang and just taking advantage of it. And now here comes the actual take. It's a good clean 2 brims off the front. You still have the recon drone getting blown up, but it is a myriad of equipment being used on that site, and VGA Esports left on a retake. You still have Ricka Bonkers up over to heaven trying to take down Mile, but Mile ends up winning the long-range battle. It's a 2-on-4. Spike still hasn't gone down. They're still looking for picks. It's already a full rotation for VGA. Finally, Spike goes down, but you still have 2 players, C Polonium, who got a 4K in the first round, left around just trying to get this going. Okay, good near sight going on. He's gonna go for it, almost getting dinked once again, but he swings on Mile. Good stuff from C Polonium. Now it's gonna be a 3-on-2. There's 2 players laying around the U-Haul area, and Nano takes down Mindless. This one should be done and dusted, but C Polonium could still do some economic damage before this round is over. Still spots out one in the long-range battle against Yuz, but he's going to lose that one out. Way too French with a third round.
It's crazy how one-sided that round looked, considering the artillery on both sides were practically even. There was a Phantom going the way of way too French, obviously, and then obviously a Marshall on VGA. But, I mean, for the most part, you saw the Spectres really kind of do all the legwork in that. And, I mean, way too French from start to finish looked so clean on their take. Saw how slow they took it as well. I mean, Emilio... Huge heads-up play by him. Even though he had his camera set up to watch bathrooms, he was still aware of the possibility that Toasty could have been, you know, around the corner and possibly just holding a close angle. He was hard cleared, and you know that's not really something you can expect. And it seems like VGA didn't expect it whatsoever, because Toasty was the only one dedicated over towards bathrooms, and from there, you know, there was no attempt at a refrag. Way too French will happily take that one, and really from here, I think they can extend it even further. Fourth round doesn't seem all too out of the, or it doesn't seem all too crazy, maybe is one way to put it.
Now that, oh my, it is just so brutal on this site, and what is even that? I don't know what that gap even is, but that's insane. Toasty the Toaster. I guess we'll probably find out. Someone will correct us, but all right, it's now equalized. And not only that, but it's a full advantage for C Polonium. It was pure chaos. We were thinking about some cool shiny thing on site, but really, the only shiny things that Way Too French has to worry about are just silver bullets being flown towards them. VGA holding down the site in a beautiful way as C Polonium. He camps down over towards the corner and long, and he snags himself 2 frags to end it. Way Too French, they drop around.
Bit of a weird one. VGA, they had a really great heads-up play to rotate players through elbow and manage to wiggle themselves in pretty comfortable positions. Because of that fact alone, I mean, they're able to pick up their first. C Polonium obviously was present for the occasion, but Way Too French, they aren't going to take that one lying down. Immediately, you see the responses try to bring it out over towards A early on. Again, working for that bathrooms control. This time, 2 players are dedicated to the fight, hard clearing the angle where that Cypher cam could be. I'm not sure if that actually tagged onto the Phoenix. I think it made the noise that it did. I actually think
Toasty, wait a minute. He's got the ult going on, gonna swing the corner, but good angle again. But here comes the actual hold down here with the Hunter's Fury, just trying to clear out some of the common choke points on site. Aincred from behind. Again, not going to find anyone, and instead, it's just frags coming out for really the entire Way Too French squad. Nano stepping up to the plate. You still have 2 defenders trying to make their recovery again, trying to make their retake. Deja Vu. It's Mindless. Stepping up near U-Haul. C Polonium over towards Heaven, and I don't think they're going to be able to contest this one, Ito. It's a 5-on-2, and economy for VGA, it's still very crucial for him.
It's lacking. I mean, after that first round where they had a fantastic rotation over towards B early on, before that exec even began from Way Too French, you know, as that very shiny firewall came out from the Phoenix in that last round, you know, VGA were already present and ready to take on all the fights that they could ever hope for. This time around, you know, a bit sluggish, to be honest. You saw Way Too French after that Phoenix popped his ult. He was just kind of waiting for it to fade. And wow, okay, speaking of the Phoenix in question, and Cred will get one more before eventually falling as well. Wait, did that ice remain into the next round?
I guess
whatever. Again, we're all focusing on like the little shiny trinkets.
Right, like the shiny things, right? No, but actually thinking about that last round, I guess it's more mentality that you're thinking about at this point, but I think that's just Way Too French switching up the tempo when they need it. I mean, your first instinct when you hear that Phoenix ult actually go off, you want to run, you know what I mean? But instead they held down the crossfires. They were patient. I mean, they had time to work with in the round, and yeah, I don't know about you, Itzo, but Way Too French making the right moves at the moment, but VGA still holding down in terms of fragging power. Let's see what they can actually pull off in terms of holding it down. Our boys at VGA What? They still had Roasty in the back lines? Most of these players for Way Too French just stuck over to U-Haul. In VGA, they still take... Oh, they take advantage of most of this. Oh, what? Did that hit through the wall? Did Ricka Bonkers just take down 2 players with his ult through the wall? I think I might be going crazy, but that's a Kobe and a half. In VGA, they win the round because of it. Incred still over to bathroom, and the spike already diffused. Again, Ito, it's pure chaos in these rounds. And even at VGA, they have to maybe 8-ball their way into a round. Nice threading the needle of the ultimate, but what a weird round. It is what it is at this point. We're just gonna have to keep on rolling.
Every
with the
time I die to one of those Raze ultimates, I always harken back to that one thing that a dev said back in, back before the game was actually announced. It was still Project A. He's like, to be clear, in Project A, shooting matters. You don't kill with abilities. No, that was a lie. You do kill with abilities. We just saw it right there. Yeah, you get their second round because of that fact alone. I mean, those 2 players over to you-all. That was a round changer.
I think I almost literally saw a clip a day or 2 ago from Witness. He was actually in the chat a little bit earlier, but he had a clip with Raze where the actual ult hit right on the person. Like, it just hit the wall behind him, but it just didn't kill him. And then you see a play like that, and it's just mind-boggling. But it is what it is. But Melio all alone over to A. And he's just on the perfect lurk. He makes all the callouts for his teammates. And, well, that's a classic bamboozle. Melio now in a pretty awkward position. What are you doing? What is going on? The spike down.
You will not kill
and there you go. That's going to be the revive. But you still have Mile. Takes down one, and Nano with another one. No, mindless from around the corner. You still have the trade back from Melio. Ricka Bonkers over to U-Haul. Now it's a 1-on-1. Spike is down.
God.
Oh, man. Ricka Bonkers, he's not going to expect this from behind for Mile. And the round is over. We can breathe now, Kieran. You can breathe.
This has been one of the weirdest games. I'm not going to lie. How do you cast something like that? Like, he's just like, he just had his own door stuck moment and then ended up dying because of it, dropping the spike. And look, Way Too French, they won the round. Cool, they won the round, but that was way too close for comfort considering everything that they had going for them. What else can I say but just, yikes. Quite honest.
Yikes, right?
This has been a really strange game to watch so far. I'm loving it, but at the same time, I am so confused and mildly concerned for Way Too French. These are rounds that I would have thought have gone their way easier, but they're having a little bit of trouble actually closing things out. This shouldn't be one of those cases, however, up mine. They're up against pistols.
Yeah, it should be a little bit easier. They're getting pressured over to mid. Again, that triple stack that VGA showed off a couple of rounds over to Hookah. It's pretty effective. I mean, overall, their B presence has been incredibly effective throughout this set. It's just that we haven't seen too many takes from Way Too French over towards this side period. But Mindless, with really no options to actually go with, he's found out by the recon and C Polonium. He finds himself in such an awkward position.
He tried faking the telly.
Right, I know.
Or did it work still? What?
I don't. What? I didn't hear the sound. I didn't hear the. I didn't hear the. It didn't go through.
Emilio just slowly into it. Yeah. He didn't exactly do the strat correctly. But yeah, no rules to the game.
Works.
Apparently anything goes in Valorant. Yeah, it still worked. He still got the kill out of it. It was a 1-on-5, was it though? So I mean, basically getting out with his gun there would have been a miracle. But well, whatever. I mean, it's another one on the board for Way Too French as they're making this look pretty one-sided at the moment. VGA, the only way they've gotten their round so far is based off of very interesting abilities or really strange misplays from Way Too French. All things considered, though, Way Too French, you know, they haven't exactly been playing the cleanest either. You saw Hughes, you know, obviously missing his wall a couple of rounds previously. But this same formula of going for an early B default, then taking the teleporters over towards A has been a winning recipe and has gotten them a number of rounds so far. Finally, you're starting to see some competition, some competitive drive come through from VGA, and it's actually going to do them a lot of good. Managing to find 2 kills and actually make it 3 for the round. Excuse me, I forgot there was another person included in a bit of the drama. And 2 versus 4 will make it a dramatic scene for Way Too French to try to get themselves back into this one.
Yeah, it's still an interesting setup for Way Too French because they do have A control, but it's not exactly a safe area for them to actually work out crossfires. Best thing that they can do is just try to pick out one by one, but they're never going to expect this position from Roasty. So unorthodox, and he goes huge. Big round for Roasty. That's a 4K for him, and really everyone on VGA Esports, it's really exactly what they needed from the beginning. Everybody stepping up in some of these rounds. I mean, I mentioned on that B take a couple of rounds ago where you had C Polonium with the what was it, a 2 or 3K, but realistically you still had Toasty the Toaster on site holding things down, Mindless chiming in too, and really everyone on VGA Esports fragging out at this point. And to beat a team like Way Too French, especially at this point in their quote-unquote history in Valorant, it would be a huge W for these players' careers.
Well, that's the way to do it. I mean, great adjustment from VGA early on in the round. Working for bathrooms has been, you know, a bit of a struggle for them here. Way Too French have been completely confident taking that sort of area early on, and I think as a result, Melio has managed to push up a number of times, end up just walking out of bathrooms, and then when, you know, he's given the all clear to his teammates, he just teleport over towards A and get the spike down. That's how Way Too French have gotten a bulk of their rounds so far. Now it's going to be a changing of the seasons for them. Now they have to work a lot harder for their rounds, and there's going to be some, again, pushback. VGA aren't going to take this one sitting down. Still, they're struggling to get the kills in the same way at the same succession that VGA or that the Way Too French are. But VGA are still in this one. C Polonium picks up another kill onto Incred, and as we enter the post plant up mine, it's a 2 versus 3.
That's a huge near sight coming in from C Polonium, and again, this is optimal for Way Too French, but.
God,
here we go. Here comes an actual frag coming back from Miles. C Polonium still looking for another one around the corner, but he was still lit, and that's going to be the round for Way Too French. Now, looking back on that round again, a very interesting take in terms of VGA. They had the right equipment usage, and I mean, ult usage in that round was comedic in a sense. Both teams using the Phoenix ult at literally the exact same time. And we also saw Phoenix ult killing Phoenix ult. So insert Spider-Man pointing meme here, because well, Way Too French, they won the battle of the clones.
The Clone Wars. I like it. God. I was not expecting you to bring out a reference like that here, but you know what?
Hey, I got you. Yo, I mean,
right?
Pineapple Phillips, he's been beating that in my head at this point.
Well, I mean, back into the game at hand, though. Oh no, that's all down. Freaking bonkers.
Oh no.
To be clear,
that's certainly that's certainly a stark contrast to the usage of that ult that we saw from Ricker Bonkers last, but sure.
Sure. But sure, I mean, look, it's the same thing that Way Too French had been doing this entire game. Like, for real. That's all. They don't have to keep switching up their recipe all too much. They just take it to the other site as soon as they have some sort of a problem occurring over towards B, and it's worked almost every single time. The only time where it hasn't has been when VGA took Bathrooms control early on. That's it.
Right, you are, and I think some of these takes are really just coming down to the pure gun battles, because I mean, VGA, they have the utility down. I mean, I think we're talking about round by round, but I think at this point, VGA still kept it close. what was it, a 4-on-2 at that point? VGA still able to catch themselves some frags near the very end, but what really matters is off the take. Way Too French winning out all of these isolated 1v1 gun duels, and at this point, VGA, they're just gonna have to step up in terms of teamwork. Gonna have to work off of trades here because we don't exactly see some of these VGA esports players playing off of two incredible crossfires in terms of early choke points. Again, VGA, they had potential in what was a double or triple hookah take, but again, that is very unorthodox and they can't depend on that all the time. Speaking of, in this round, they're just gonna do a very classic 3A 2B hold. They have C Polonium around the corner. This is the exact same spot where Polonium got himself. I think it was a 2 or 3K the last time that Way Too French tried to pull a full B execute. And I think that might just happen. But again, deja vu, it's Melio on the lurk.
Yeah, it's been a very, very time and time again tradition that they followed. Way Too French. I mean, look, you already see them starting to back up on that mini-map in the top left. Maybe they don't even have to bother with taking it over towards Hookah. Well, okay, never mind. Maybe they are actually primed to take it out over towards B. This would be a bit of a changing of the seasons. There's a kill coming in from Melio, however, and you see rotations are being dragged in from the defender side as a result. There is a B hit coming through from Way Too French, but there's no response, no refrag potential in Incred's death. That means that all three players from Way Too French are just piling out the window. Oh god, I feel so bad.
Oh, no.
For C Polonium there, nothing he could do, stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it looks like, well, both of them will just all take him out. Melio gets another kill to just really put the cherry on top, and Way Too French, they're looking primed to take number 9 here and make it a 9-3 half.
Sure, but you still have Roasty stepping up to the plate again, just a round or two ago, pulling out 4K. In the grand scheme of things, this isn't that huge, right? Going from 4K to 2K. Let's see if he could actually pull it off. He's trying to clear out most of this site, but it's tough. Doesn't have really any of his equipment to work with. He's going to go for the Vic Diffuse, but it's going to be the double swing from Way Too French. A classic setup there in terms of post plant. There's really nothing you can do about it. Big round coming in for Way Too French again, and they can essentially seal off this entire game off of a pistol round W.
Yeah, I mean, look, VGA, I feel like they had some really confident rounds. They've been doing a decent enough job at, I'd say, capitalizing upon the many mistakes that Way Too French have made so far, and have at least made it competitive in some of the rounds that they have inevitably lost towards the end of it. But really, it's been those mid-round adjustments that I feel VGA have shown, or they've kind of, you know, shined a little bit more in kind of their early round adaptations, excuse me, and I feel, you know, now moving on to the attacker side, maybe some of those calls will actually come into fruition here and they can put on a little bit more of a promising show. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's not looking very promising for them whatsoever here, but it all begins on a pistol, doesn't it, Upmind?
Yep, and oh baby, still from behind though. You had Incred try to take one back, but I mean, you're not wrong. Usually Way Too French would treat these with a little bit more prominence, but instead it's going to be VGA winning out the early gun duels, something that has been quite the change in terms of theme. Here comes the actual rotation, though, the actual retake. You still have the Sova laying around the bathroom area. Melio winning out the trade battle against Rickabonkers. Melio just trying to swing on out as he's nearsighted. Not the best move by any means, and he still have Mile in that 1v1 against C Polonium in the back lines, and that is an extremely clean pistol round coming in for VGA.
Well, hey, that's the beginning of a turnaround, isn't it, Upmind? That's the sort of thing that you need to see in a best-of-1 scenario. Obviously, you know, there's no buffer. You can't just hope that things will get better for you on map number 2. I've seen it a couple of times, and those sort of, you know, that big picture mentality doesn't exactly exist in this sort of scenario. And VGA, you know, fighting tooth and nail, very clean pistol is a great start for them, but Way Too French, they're more than willing to go ahead and try different things up into the second round here. There's that hookah setup that we mentioned previously. VGA, they're the ones to actually use it last time around, and maybe Way Too French can show them that anything that they can try to do, they can do better.
Potentially.
Potentially, right?
Whatever you can do, I can do better. It's that triple hookah take that the defenders in VGA tried to go for, so it might not be all that uncommon as I was surprised to see just a round or two ago, but wow, what a take. You just have a
Deja vu, dude.
great omen smoke towards towards hookah, and oh boy, Toasty the Toaster still trying to swing out over the long, but doesn't expect two to be there. Oh my, you still get a kill from Yuz in terms of that classic. He shotguns the classic. Now it's still a 3-on-3. Incred. Same thing with Mile around the corner. Again, that classic hold. You have two over the long, but you still have one over the site. Just trying to play ring around the Rosie. Just trying to play trades. Mile, however, I guess he got that kill. I didn't even see where he even got that from. But I guess missed bullets. I don't know.
Bro, nothing makes sense in this game, man. Nothing makes sense.
No clue. I have no clue.
Not half bad from Way Too French, though. I mean, you know, if we want to go ahead and try to ground ourselves to reality by thinking of things that are tangible, that's one of them. Way Too French, sure, obviously they lost a round, but considering that they only had pistols, they had VGA sweating a little bit. But on the other side of the coin, VGA, they've picked up 5. This is probably one of the more important rounds of the entire game. If they can win this, suddenly they're right back in this one, and the gap isn't going to be nearly as scary, nearly as daunting to try to get past. Off to a good start, however. Way Too French immediately scouting out one player. The raise over towards mid, and we'll toss out a couple of shock darts just to try to actually make something out of this, too. But VGA, they're completely content just sitting on their laurels, and in a very similar fashion to what Way Too French were doing in the first half. Maybe go ahead and pull off some sort of fake.
Potentially so. Good omen smoke. That's going to cover up for the camera. Although they didn't exactly expect that, but here comes Mile around the corner. Snags one, still readjusts himself. Perfect movement from Mile. That's 4! Attaboy, Mile! Catching himself 4 frags. And that finally puts Way Too French back in the driver's seat in terms of a round. Roasty's the last one remaining.
Well, if he gets the ace here, then it's officially going to be a highlight clip for him here. It already has been one hell of a show that he's been putting on. I know, exactly. Well, he's going to be able to find this 5th one, surely. I'm surprised that Recon Dart actually did spot him here, but there it is. The ace is all yours, Mile. You give him an inch, he'll extend it to, well, a mile. Very clean towards the end. I mean, it's just...
You've got bars.
I got bars for days, man. It just, that felt so right for Mile. As soon as I saw him get those first 2, I knew, okay, cool. He's going to clip this, put it on his ESEA profile, put it on his Steam profile. Like, you know what's happening.
Yeah, ESEA, Twitter. Put it on my professional resume when I apply for a job.
Why would you be good for the state
and don't forget about the Frag movie when he eventually, you know, joins trick shotting organization.
Well, he has the hype caster clip to go off of there, where I'm just like,
right,
oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, there it is. But, you know, VGA, only so much you can do against solo efforts like that, right?
What's going on here? You still have another defender around the corner. No, that's classic again, still waiting for the players to pass on by for him to get the lineup going, but instead he gets found out. Some sneaky movement ends up being the bane of his existence, and that's the same thing with Incred. Tries to lay around the smoke, but it doesn't matter. Mile, however, picking heads all the way from sight, looking for another one. His Vandal has been hot thus far, but can't extend for the 3rd frag. Instead, it's going to be Roasty, long range, winning that battle with the Stinger. Again, it's Cypher v Cypher. Could catch this last one off guard. Oh no, this could actually happen. Roasty still looking around. It's a weird round of cat and mouse. It's ring around the Rosie here, Kieran. What is going on?
No!
What?
Why?
What?
Oh god,
no way!
No, Roasty! 5 seconds! He's around the corner, but Melio's gonna win it! Oh my lord, the timing is just awful.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, look, no fault to them. Don't get me wrong, but that just it straight up sucks. I'll be honest.
That hurts.
Yeah.
No, it has to. He's
Roasty
gonna look
gave it a
back on
good
that
shot,
clip, and
though.
he's got no clue how he even got it. Like, he could get into hookah by really like any means. He could have came in from mid, but he's not gonna know that until he actually looks at the clip a little bit later. That's an 11th round for Way Too French off of what was a sneaky little last setup there. But again, it's another round, another opportunity for our friends here in VGA Esports. They can try to make their way back in. Uh-oh, but Way Too French, they pull off the Phoenix ult. Incred, he has no clue again, still looking around.
Huge.
He has all the info in the world. Isolating that mid setup.
I mean, really well played by VGA at the same time. However, they made absolutely no presence shown over towards mid, which might make them think that they're pushing in through market, but keep an eye on the defenders as well. They've started to push out through long B at the moment, knowing that you see that the rotations aren't actually coming through from Way Too French. I'm surprised they aren't even bothering to budge whatsoever. They seem to be dealing with this one just fine. However, Mile is going to be able to find first blood and actually going to be still topping that. Emilio holds around the corner and into the flashbang, into the smoke. They both go. Emilio somehow comes out on top through it all, however, and Way Too French, they are completely content again holding the line, because VGA, they have been unable to broach this topic, broach this site almost at all. VGA, they're falling apart at the seams, and Incred is there to go ahead and just pick up all the fallen pieces. That is VGA Esports and their offense.
Rosy's really here for maybe, I don't know, he's here for exit frags. I think the economy of VGA is going to be almost exactly the same no matter what happens here at the end, but that's going to be the kill from Yuz. On to Roasty. Match point for Way Too French coming up. It's going to be 7 consecutive rounds until we get into the new and renewed overtime format. No,
Yeah,
VGA,
I don't
however,
think we're going to be seeing that.
Yeah, well, the VGA, they've shown quite a good bit of resiliency. I mean, there've been a couple of rounds where simply it's been a margin of pixels separating the two teams in terms of rounds. I mean, VGA, if we're being completely honest, that anti-eco round that Way Too French tried to pull off almost fell at the seams. And VGA could have easily found themselves in like an 8 to 10 score line at this point. But instead, the script is a little bit muddy. It's a little bit redacted. As Way Too French, they're just writing their way into a W. But again, VGA still have an opportunity. 110 left in the round. And what is this setup over to long? It's going to be a double crossfire, and you still have the smoke up front. Mindless with a huge frag. But that's still going to be Incred and Yuz collecting the frags over to long. And a 2-on-4 left for Polonium and his teammate here, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, what just happened? I think he teleported his way right into someone. And, yeah, again, I just keep thinking what could possibly happen here with these last two players, but it's simply going to be Mile again. Take a bow, Mile. What a second half for the player. Tapping heads, getting clips, and he's going to drag Way Too French to a hard-fought 13-5 win.